chairman of the occasion, Major General Ike Nwachukwu, the distinguished Nobel laureate and keynote speaker, Professor Wole Soyinka, the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo, Chief Nia Nwodo, all other protocols observed. My name is Kingsley Moghalu. I am the presidential candidate of the Young Progressives Party, the YPP, and I will be the 8th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let there be no doubt about it. It's not if, but when. And the when is May 29 next year. People like myself are taking up Professor Wole Soyinka's admonition. And we are bringing about a new narrative in our country. An end to the reign of unproductive, recycled politicians, a replacement and retirement and permanent retirement of those who have held us in bondage for far too long with those who have a vision for this country. I have a vision for Nigeria. That vision is of a country that becomes a nation, because Nigeria is not yet a nation. Nigeria is a country, and a broken country at that. I worked for the United Nations for 17 years, from entry level to the highest career rank. I helped to fix several broken nations. Cambodia, Rwanda after the genocide, the former Yugoslavia. If I could fix those countries, I can fix Nigeria. I have been a deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria in the commanding heights of economic management in this country. And I am proud to say, and stand before you to say, that in the Central Bank of our time, under the leadership of the great Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, from 2009 to 2014, we recorded many achievements that we enjoy in this country today. I personally, as Deputy Governor for Operations, led the introduction of the bank verification number in this country, BVN. As Deputy Governor for Financial Stability, I supervised and led the implementation of Nigeria's banking reforms that prevented Nigeria's banks from collapsing after the global financial crisis of 2008. No bank failed, no depositor lost one kobo. It happened in Nigeria. All over the world, banks were collapsing. In the 1990s in this country, people lost trillions, billions in the failed bank crisis, and some had strokes and died. Our record stands in history. I have a vision, therefore, of Nigeria beyond oil. Our unproductive politicians have for far too long led us in the worship of the God of small things, crude oil and the oil price. Every morning they wake up and bow down before the God of oil. If the price of oil is high, they're happy. If the price of oil slumps, they become sad, frustrated, because they have nothing to offer you. the worship of the God of small things. It will end with my presidency in 2019. The end of the worship of the God of small things. The sole reliance on crude oil, which has made this country so poor. Let me tell you something you may not know. The wealth of nations is never in natural resources. The wealth of nations is always in the human capital of any country. As president of Nigeria, my #1 priority will be to develop the human capital of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And so, we will not be able to achieve this without a constitutional restructuring of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Why? Because today we have officially a federal republic, but in truth, Nigeria is a unitary country. It's run as a unitary state where the federal government owns all the resources and decides whom to give it to and how much of it. Resource allocation, revenue allocation. And so every month, unproductive politicians gather in Abuja to do what they call FAC, Federal Account Allocation Committee. Instead of us to invest in our brains, instead of us to invest in creating an innovation economy, instead of us to invest in the 3 secrets of successful capitalism: property rights, innovation, capital. These are the 3 things that make any capitalist society function well. No politician in Nigeria can tell you what they mean, let alone engage with them. I am sorry. It is not my intention to exhibit intellectual arrogance. But the truth is, I went to school. I have my certificates. It is time Nigeria was led by an educated person. And so, I want to be very clear about what my vision of restructuring is. There are many politicians today who want to get to power by talking about restructuring. Just like some today are talking about fighting corruption, but they're not actually fighting corruption. And so, talking about restructuring has become the latest fashion. They want to 419 us once again. Once again. And if you give them power, they will get in there. The vested interests will hold them down and they will not be able to deliver what they promise you. Let me tell you how we will restructure Nigeria, all of us working together in the Kingsley Moghalu presidency as from 2019. My vision of restructuring is one in which Nigeria returns to a proper federation. And what is a proper federation? There will be 2 levels of government constitutionally. And those 2 levels, none is superior to the other. There will be the central government and there will be the subnational governments. Those subnational governments, in my own vision, should be the 6 geopolitical zones, not states. The reason is very simple. With the 6 geopolitical zone structure, and we turn them into 6 geoeconomic zones, the economies of scale in every region of Nigeria today will make each and every region of Nigeria prosper. There will be enough population, enough market, enough resources to carry manufacturing and trade within each region profitably, not to talk about exporting to foreign countries or trading within the federation with other regions. Therefore, the 6th geopolitical zone structure is better and superior to a structure based on 36 states. I do not often disagree with my elders, at least not in front of them. But I must humbly and respectfully disagree with the chairman, General Ikemwachukwu, when he said that no state, all states in Nigeria are viable. I'd like to qualify that statement a little bit. The truth is that many states in this country, during the state creation exercise, they were not created with economics in mind. They were created along tribal lines. That's the truth. And that is why the agitation for state creation continues in Nigeria today, because we have built up a false narrative that we must reward every ethnic group and every umunna and every family group. Next state to be created will be the Kingsley Moghalu extended family state. By that logic. So the state creation was not done on the basis of economic thinking, but on the basis of ethnic groups. So in Enugu state today, some people want Adada state. That's not the basis on which we should go. Number 2, restructuring. Restructuring must come with complete resource control. The oil sovereign wealth fund of Alaska belongs to Alaska. It does not belong to Washington. So the regions will have their resources completely, but they will pay a tax to the center. And I say that we will not make the mistake we made with oil again. Any natural resources in Nigeria must be processed before export. Any foreign investor invested in Nigeria, that will be the condition that we will give that firm or that company. Because exporting raw natural resources is a recipe for poverty. That's why we are poor. The third vision of my restructuring agenda is that we must have a new constitution. And in that constitution, we must completely separate religion from the state. Nigeria is supposed to be a secular country, and we should make it one through our constitution, in reality, not in theory. So to conclude, my vision of Nigeria beyond oil is a vision in which innovation drives the Nigerian economy. My government will set up a 1 trillion naira venture capital fund that will finance new inventions to be mass produced. The products of innovation will go into the marketplace. Those products of innovation will create an economic boom because the wholesaler, the retailer, the middleman, the inventor himself or herself, everybody is making money. That is how America became a powerful country. That's how Japan became a powerful country. That's how China became a powerful country. I have a vision for Nigeria. I do not have the time to spell it out. But I'm glad to have had the opportunity to point you to just the tip of the iceberg. And if you want to excavate the whole iceberg, I am the first presidential candidate in Nigeria to have written a proper book on my vision for this country. And that book is here. It is called Build, Innovate, and Grow, my vision for our country. Some people, of course, are copying me, and imitation is the greatest form of flattery. You will soon be seeing their own, but I want you to know that this is where it began. And this is the original and substantive vision, not the fake one, not the Bureau de Change vision. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shima. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is my son.
Thank you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Say hello to Seriki. I'll do that.
Everyone fell down.
Thank you, sir.
restructuring is actually the word.
Thank you.
I'd like to quickly call on Dr. Shina Adeke Byron, the presidential candidate of Coma Party, who's like to let avoid.
Thank you. Yeah. It's okay, leave it. Yeah. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Good speech. Thank you.
The chairman of the occasion.
Yeah.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen.